Hello everybody and welcome to Black Coffee Gardener. So it's been a minute since I've done a video, but the month of July was just one entire heat wave. So it was almost impossible to get out here to record anything without my device overheating. So anyhow, we've still got a few things going on. I've spent some time on vacation this month, so we've got some overgrown things, some weeds, and so forth and so on. But I'm going to try to walk you guys through as much of what's going on in the garden now as I can. I mean, it's cool right now. I'm underneath the umbrella, but that sun is out there sunning. So we'll see how much we can show you guys in a minimal amount of time. All right, so over there where I had the corn all turned out very well. I don't think I got any footage of it, but if I did, I would definitely put a clip in of it. Oh, look at that yellow. I had 12 stalks over there, and we actually got 12 ears of corn off of those. I left two of the stalks, as you can see here, because I have some pole beans growing up them. So that's what that's all about. And I'm standing back here in the shade because, once again, I want to just be able to show you guys as much as I can, um, before this thing overheats. The elephant ears are doing so well. So well. I put some bush beans back in this pot over here. That is the squash that didn't produce, so I had pulled that out and put some beans in there. I don't think there's anything on there as of yet. I haven't checked, but I haven't seen flowers, and even before I left for vacation there wasn't any flowers, so not sure what's going on with that. But anywho, um, these midnight snacks are still doing well. I mean, I've just gotten tons and tons of fruit off of this, and I'll harvest some today as well. The tomatoes that I had over here did not do well. I didn't stake them properly, and they snapped, and that just kind of ruined the whole plant. So that was that. The orange peppers are coming in. Let me see if I can get down in here so you can see. We're finally starting to turn orange. Over here we've got the Scotch bonnets. And this is my first time I've been out here since I got home. We just got back. And look at that. Look at the color in that Scotch bonnet. Nice. There's tons of them in here though. We still got some beans going along down here. I did peep this squash when I got home because right before we left, they were just tiny little babies, and I was hoping they didn't get too big before we got back. That one's a little bigger than I'd like it to be, but I'm gonna get that out of there today. And then there's another smaller one in there. This is what we've got overgrown here. The flower bed is just taken over by all kinds of weeds. But you know what? I don't mind. It still kind of looks good. But yeah, definitely overtaken by weeds. These elephant ears here. This was the smallest of all the bulbs I planted, and look how this ear here is showing out. We've got the Italian heirloom peppers here, the Jimmy Nardellos here, and this pokeweed is just showing up all over the place. So I've got to get that out of there. Weeds took over the mint that I have in a pot, which I have no idea how that even happened. Swiss chard is still going well. Marigolds here just shining, taking over the whole middle row of this bed, which is kind of what I wanted them to do because it's an area that I can't get into. I can't reach in there, so I planted them that way so that it still have a good look to it, but it isn't anything that I had to get in and do maintenance to. Over here, we had all kale in here. I really didn't think these elephant ears were gonna grow like that, and they wound up shading out the kale. So I pulled all of that out of there and planted it up front. This here is a volunteer. I had no idea what it was, but it started growing. I started seeing the pink to it. So I was like, oh, I'm going to leave it. And look at that. How beautiful. Have no idea where it came from. I've never even planted flowers in this bed. So yeah, I have no idea where she came from, but she's awfully pretty. So yeah, I've got some collard greens started that I'm hoping, I don't know, maybe I can stake this elephant ear back some way because I want to put collard greens in there for the fall. There is an ear over there laying down in the bed that I've got to cut out. But over here, I've got some greens started. This is done. Before we left, I harvested all of the lettuce seeds off of this. And this thing is so dried out. I'm going to give it some water. And that basil should come back. I don't know about this chocolate mint here. Once again, it's just so dry. But I'm going to give everybody some water. And yeah. All right, guys, so I was able to get some sage, some pineapple sage. This stuff smells so good. Some Thai basil. This whole plant here, the Pennsylvania Dutch thyme, the whole thing is flowering, unfortunately. So as you can see, this is in full sun. So I just got in there and got a little bit, just enough to cook with today. And I'll try to get in there maybe this evening when the sun goes down and try to get as much of it that hasn't flowered so that I can dry it. But this is some Vietnamese coriander here, which I was able to salvage some from inside the herb bed over here. And I can still come in and cut some more of that out. I should probably take this parsley too. At any rate, I cut some of this Swiss chard because I'm going to have that for lunch. Now, like I said, we went away and this is how big this grew. This one is a little smaller than I like to harvest. So ideally what I like is maybe another day on this size right here. Because once it gets to this size, the seeds inside of here are so big that I wind up just cutting the outside of this around the seeds in order to be able to eat it, because the seeds are edible, but when they get this big, it's just not a good feel in your mouth. So these here, the Italian heirloom peppers, I cut a mixture because the red are super spicy, not super spicy, but they're spicy. These are a mild, you know, because they haven't turned all the way red yet, so those are mild. And then these are just, they're just pepperoncinis. They're, yeah, they're not spicy at all. So I'm gonna make a nice little salsa out of that, um, which will be it'll be a nice variety, not too hot, a little bit of sweet just from the green one. So that'll be nice. And then this beautiful dahlia, just because she's so pretty. I'm gonna put her in the kitchen. I did get two ripe Jimmy Nardellos. Now they're not completely ripe. They do turn solid red, but this is close enough, because I'm probably gonna use these with this salsa, and then here are my midnight snacks, which I always like to grab a couple green ones when I harvest these, and then I just leave these on the table and let them ripen up in the house. So that is my harvest from the back garden. Let me take you guys around front and show you the watermelons. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I should harvest some of these marigolds. They're just so pretty. I think I'll come back out. Yeah, I think I'll come back out and do. I really, really love the way this is shown out here. It's just so beautiful to me. And my elephant ears. Of all the food back here, these are the two things that I'm like super hype about. But anyhow, oh, and I did get that pokeweed out. That was over here. I have no idea what to do with this stuff. So I'm gonna leave it here because Jackie, she'll know what to do with it. So I'm gonna leave it there. The bird bath is bird bathing. And look at, I forgot to show you guys. Morning Glory is growing all back there. Like 2 weeks ago, was it 2 weeks ago before we left? Whatever. They had the most beautiful lavender colored flowers all over them. And look at that, more pokeweed back there. I don't know why this stuff is showing up all over the place this year. It's so weird. Anyways, let me show y'all my sugar babies right quick. Look at this one, this late bloomer down here. Came back to that little guy, but more Thai basil cosmos. My kale was looking all sad, but I watered it, so it should bounce back. So we've got two smaller ones over here. Such a glare. I hope you guys can see that. But the biggest one, look how long this thing has trailed. It's over here. That's the big mama right there. Excited about that. And it's still trailing. Oh, and look at that. Another late bloomer. It's so funny. Well, we'll see what happens with it. All right, guys, that's it for today. I took a stab at planting flowers this year, and I think I did a pretty good job for a first timer. I also think nature rewarded me by these zinnias showing up out of the cracks of the driveway. It's the most rewarding volunteer I've ever seen. Thank you all for watching, and let's all continue.